Why it's good.
Hi there, my name is Matt Cole.
And I'm Brian Garrity.
And we are the producers of the Sexperts Podcast, and we're here with a very special guest. His first time in the Sexperts, hopefully not his last. Welcome, Jorge Mendez.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. Let's see. We usually have a lot of people from the Push Comedy Theater on the show, and we've gotten bored with them.
Stepping out and getting some strange.
So getting some strange. So talk to us about what you do around Hampton Roads.
I am the host and event coordinator for the open mic at the venue on 35th Street in Norfolk.
Awesome.
Yeah. Been there 7 years now. 7 years.
That is incredible. And
what makes that open mic different than a lot of what people would think of as open mics around town?
God, good question, Brian.
I like to, we like to think of ourselves as a genuinely open mic. Sometimes people just had a bad day.
I have seen
and they
that.
need a room where they can just vent, and you've been there for that.
That's awesome.
Sometimes, we had a lady who went on a trip to Florida to see a friend of hers from like high school, like 40 years prior.
Yeah.
Hadn't spent any time with her in 40 years. Told us about her trip. People
Awesome.
do poetry, they do comedy, they do music of all genres.
Yeah.
It's just a really open place where people can just kind of come and express themselves. People discover their art, they grow their art, develop friendships.
That is really cool. And I've heard a lot about it, and I haven't been...
And all that in front of a really supportive audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important to us, that we cultivate that type of energy there. It's really hard to get up in front of a room full of strangers.
It is.
Well,
when is it? And where
Every
exactly?
Monday, 7 to 11, 631 West 35th Street, Norfolk, Virginia.
There we go. And obviously it's free because you can just walk right in and... No, it's not free?
It is not free.
Oh, wait.
It is
But wait.
$3.
Okay.
$3.
Even
It's
if-
practically free.
Even if you're a performer, right? I want to get that straight.
Yeah, everybody pays $3.
Everybody's free.
Right.
All right, well... Thanks. I almost got that one wrong.
Yeah, we would have had people showing up demanding.
The Sexperts told me it was free.
Yeah. Do not listen to the
password
Sexperts.
is Sexperts. If you say that, you get it free. No, that's not real. Cool. Yeah,
Parking's free.
Parking is free.
that's good. And then I just want to mention, because a lot of our listeners are from the Push Comedy Theater, there is a connection with the venue and Push, because way back when, like 5 years ago, before the Push had its own theater, the Pushers would have classes, and then they would have like graduation shows or special like one-off shows at the venue. And
We did a couple shows there.
we did, yeah. One of our first few shows with Nerd Alert.
My first two.
Your first two shows probably ever.
I worked concession for the Nerd Alert. That was in my early days with the venue.
That's
I was just
awesome.
starting to come on and get used to what was going on there.
One of the first jokes I did in stand-up at an open mic there, I was like, I normally do sketch comedy.
Yeah.
I've had a very successful sketch comedy career. I've sold out venues, such as the venue. Nobody liked that.
It's a very local joke.
Well, they didn't know I was being like, they thought I was being sincere, like I'm really successful.
Oh.
But I wasn't.
You just have a very sincere look about you, maybe.
Which is odd because I was on a unicycle at the time.
What is the craziest thing that you've seen at one of these open mics?
Oh, this is actually an easy question because I've been asked it before, so I don't even have to think anymore.
Awesome.
This guy shows up with a giant duffel bag, and at first we're a little nervous about what may or may not be in this duffel bag. But he breaks it out, he puts it on stage, he starts removing random pieces of PVC piping and putting them together. We're not exactly sure what he's doing, but like we said, we're supportive, so we're all just sitting there waiting with bated breath to see what he's going to do with this PVC piping.
Yeah.
He put together an is it called an oboe? From like the Ricola commercials? That's not right. That's not an oboe. That's
It's not an oboe.
I don't know what it's called. I don't think.
a didgeridoo.
Oh shit.
One of those. It's a didgeridoo. And it's this long PVC pipe. And he just... And when he was done, we gave him the poetry snaps and kept him moving. Yeah, there was that one.
Did he ever come back?
Yeah, he's done all kinds of stuff.
I like to think he
Like
travels the country and just does it once.
I can't remember the guy's name. If I see his face, I'll be like, oh yeah, you're the PVC guy.
It's funny because he makes a different thing every week. Like this week, he just made a little toy car out of the PVC pipes. That's it. Or we gave him the snaps, and that's it.
Last week he made a girlfriend. So maybe your next question, you won't ask him something that everyone asks him before.
No, I'm glad. Sometimes I ask questions that are just way too complicated. Any other things that you do around town? We can check you out.
Most of what I do happens over at the venue, but
Yeah.
I do host different events around town when they get offered to me and perform here and there, the spoken word.
Yeah, he
poetry
did one
and
at
stuff.
the Bright Side recently.
Yeah, talk to us about that, Brian.
Brian. Well,
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was.
So Brightside is our sketch group, and a lot of times we do a set of sketch, and then we take an intermission, and then we do some improv, and we sometimes look for different things to. Improv usually has an opener where you pull ideas from, and sometimes we like to bring people in that aren't part of the group or aren't part of the push community, and let them perform, and then use their performances, the ideas in their performances to generate ideas for improv scenes. And watching George do the open mic hosting, I knew he was hilarious, and I knew he was a really talented poet, so I thought it'd be a perfect fit. Sure enough, it was.
That's always hit and miss doing poetry at a mostly comedy event.
Yeah.
That's always really nerve-wracking because the audience doesn't typically expect it. And spoken word it's one of those, you either love it or you hate it. So,
But I loved it because like I don't know what it was, but I can actually see that you're right. It's like some audiences just like, nah, not for me. I don't know if it was we warmed to the crowd or like they were just feeling it or whatever, but like they loved it. And also I thought your pieces were really like, how many pieces do you have that you can do like that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
a
like
bunch.
a bunch.
Yeah.
I thought you picked two that were that worked really well for what we were doing and for like a comedy theater.
With poets, we try to prepare that way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with like an open mic situation.
Yeah.
You kind of want to feel out the crowd a little bit, and
Yeah.
you might go in there thinking, okay, these are the poems I'm going to do.
Right.
And then you realize, okay, that's probably not the right vibe.
Did you call
for
an
that.
audible? Did you change up? Like
No,
what you
not
were gonna
that
do?
night.
Oh man,
No, not that night. Actually, what I had planned actually worked out just fine.
that's awesome.
We never do that. We just ram it down their throats.
You're gonna like it, or you're gonna leave. It's okay. We got your money. That is so cool. And yeah, I came in thinking it was like, oh, it's gonna be spoken word. Man, it's gonna be like kind of serious or whatever. It fit really, really well. I don't know if you call it tragic comic, but like, I don't know. It was comedic. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the same thing recently, and please don't be jealous, but you heard about Godchild was
Yeah,
at our
I
last
heard.
set.
I heard he got a standing O.
He got oh shit.
Not that
Did you? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I mean, we had a sold out show that night.
Yeah.
For Godchild.
We actually had
We had a
oversold.
good crowd when we
Yeah.
had you, but it wasn't quite the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
happens.
that's right. We had you on a Sunday night, which I mean is pretty. It did very well for a Sunday night. We had a Saturday at 8 p.m., which is a prime slot. Like, if a show does really well and is well marketed, push, like it's gonna sell out. So that's why. But like, yeah, I enjoyed him too, and thank you for recommending him.
Yeah, Godchild's awesome. He's kind of a pillar.
He came up with something that I think is cool, and maybe you're talking about is like sometimes for long form improv we do like a guest monologist, and then we do improv of that. The guest monologist comes back and does another story. We've done that. It's like I would love like a double feature, and this can be an official invite for next show. With George doing like one or two, we do improv, and God talking about doing one or two, and then improv as well.
I'm down.
And that'd be a fucking stellar show, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Brian has that. Look at it.
Well, you had me at me doing improv.
The modesty radiating off the couch is just it's staggering.
But yeah, and I think that's really cool to bring in. I wouldn't imagine a lot of the audience, because a lot of our audiences are friends and family, maybe never even seen like live spoken word, and that's so cool.
Well, that was one of my favorite things when George was there.
Yeah.
It was a PG-13 show.
Yeah.
So my kids were there, or one of them was. It was too late for the other. But he had never seen poetry before.
Yeah.
And on the way home, I was like, that was his favorite part.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear.
And yeah, so like as he goes on his life and he sees like, oh, there's a poetry show, or there's poetry night or whatever. Yeah,
I think
like
most
that.
people are surprised when they see it for the first time, because there's a lot of preconceived notions about what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And even for me, when I was like, well, this is how I write.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be like when I finally start going to this place, the venue that I found online, right?
Right.
I was expecting the sun bleeds through me.
Yes.
I was expecting Mike Myers and So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah.
Woman.
Harriet. Sweet
Whoa,
Harriet.
man.
hard-hearted harbinger of haggis. Don't bring up popular film poetry around me. You just can't do it.
Knows them all. Well, yeah. Thanks for being on the show. And again,
thanks for having me.
we're gonna keep bringing you back, and yeah, we're gonna have you at all of our shows from now on.
I'm for
Well,
it.
what I want to do sometime when I can get all my group together
Yeah.
is I want to do one sketch at open mic
Yeah.
at the venue.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Like, just get up there, do one sketch, get off.
Yeah.
For situations like obviously we have to keep within time limits, but when it's a situation like that, we present it as a special event happening within the open mic, so that if you guys were to put something together like that, we wouldn't have to worry about whether it's 4 minutes or.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't do your 8-minute long sketch, Brian.
Can't do tilapia.
Tilapia.
We did a sketch last show. Spoiler if you're going to watch the show and video recording. About a restaurant, a family-owned restaurant that was tilapia themed, and they had a tilapia pond out back, but the wife had died in the tilapia pond, and now it was just the husband running it by himself, and but he missed his wife very, very much. It was a tragic death,
Which you can obviously tell is a laugh out loud, Brian.
and it was kind of fun. But my dad was here this morning,
Yeah.
and he was talking about the show. He goes, "Yeah, I like that one. It was really funny, but." Maybe went a little long.
I love those subtle moments of feedback from your family.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you should get a job. I don't know, just spitballing some ideas. All right, cool. Well, once again, thank you. We're on to
you.
the episode.